Hey, good afternoon, everybody. Tom Stewart here. I'm with Aja Holiday, and we're going to give you number 2 of 4 presentations on what's coming in MaidCentral Pulse. Aja, how are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
I am awesome. I've been multitasking here, and I forgot to top off my coffee. That's a
Oh
rookie
no.
move. Yeah. I used to, when I was doing this every day, I wouldn't have made a rookie move like that. But, guess I get a pass. Okay, so let's go ahead and jump into Pulse with no further ado, or try to. There we go. Um, Before we do that, though, we want
One
to
more ado.
talk about the PCI report. Uh, Aja, what is the PCI report?
Yeah, so the PCI report is a report where we're taking, as much of the data that we have, available for different cleaning services, and is kind of the first nationwide benchmarking program built for residential cleaning services exclusively. And it's data from over 150,000 house cleanings every month, over 5,000 technicians that are doing those job checks and whatnot. And essentially, what we're able to do is get some insights on some of our essential KPIs, not necessarily core KPIs or anything, but just some essential numbers to kind of pay attention to and see how the industry is moving, be able to get some insights into how things looked last month compared to this month. So we do some month over month comparisons. And then we also do year over year. So we can see where we were this same time last year. How have things changed? Are we doing better as an industry, worse as an industry? And then we also do break that down into company sizes as well. That's one of the feedback we've gotten over the years with presenting more KPIs like this to our MaidCentral partners is that people really want to know how companies do based on their size. Knowing that when you're really small, it's hard to compare your numbers to somebody who's really big and vice versa. And so we do break that down into small, medium-sized, and large companies as well to kind of give people a little insight to where they stand in comparison to businesses of similar size. So it's been really cool. We kind of launched this during our strategy summit last month as kind of a exclusive preview for this. And so this is the first time that we're going to be bringing it to the masses, and we're really excited about it.
Yeah, it's been, I guess, almost exactly a month since we're going to be doing it every third Thursday at 3:30.
Oh, did you guys see what we did there?
Yeah, the alliteration works. So it's Eastern time. What we say made Central time, Eastern time. So, and currently we're tracking 6 benchmarking numbers. We're doing
Correct.
revenue per job.
Yep, revenue per job hour. So kind of that cleaning hourly rate, your technician pay rate, customer churn, direct payroll to revenue, and then feel like I'm missing one.
Recurring customer churn rate,
Um,
direct
that was
payroll to
on there.
revenue,
I think
revenue
that's
per
right.
job. I'm looking at the website. There's 6 of them. We just rattled them all off, didn't we?
I think so. I think we got all 6.
Revenue per job, recurring customer churn rate, direct payroll to revenue, technician pay per clock hour, technician turnover per year,
That was what I was phrasing.
revenue per job hour.
Yep.
And we go back and we graph it out for over the last year. We give you the rate of change month over month and year over year.
Yep. It's a fun one. It's really cool to see each month how things are kind of moving and being able to see this almost for the first time, kind of how things are trending. And especially, across company sizes, being able to see like the overall trend line and seeing how those different company sizes kind of lay along that trend.
So if you want to get some perspective as to how you're doing on those 6 metrics or what you should be doing in those 6 metrics compared to what other people in the industry are doing, come see us tomorrow at 3:30 Eastern. And this is a webinar. How do we register for that, Aja?
Yep. So you can register for this on our website under resources in the PCI report.
Would that be, I can pull that up here, this page?
Yep, that should be that page. I think we're working to get that added there. Did that get updated? It might be cached too.
We're still trying to register for Pulse. We don't need to do that because you wouldn't be here if you hadn't registered for. But
I can throw this into the chats too, the registration link.
okay.
Oh, I might need to throw it into you, actually. You might need to throw it in.
Okay.
There we go.
How did you send that?
Just in the live stream chat.
All right. We can do this.
So while he's doing that, yep, we've got this coming up tomorrow. Very excited. Really looking forward to doing this every month and kind of seeing, keeping this top of mind for everybody who wants to pay attention to this. And we think everybody really should. Lots of industries have this kind of reporting, and it's kind of been a gap in our industry. So we're hoping to fill that a little bit and give you guys this information that can give you insights onto what to work on, and maybe find out it isn't you. Or maybe it is you. So be able to kind of get an idea of that for your business.
So we're going to go ahead and, there's one other thing real quick. We want to talk about. This is smart payments. We've got a new program at MaidCentral. It's basically a way of getting your customers to pay for your credit card processing fees. In 2025, that's pretty much where everyone is going. A number of MaidCentral partners have already signed up for this. You can shave off a couple of points, percentage of revenue can go right to your bottom line. And if you want to assume that you have a 10% profit margin, you can improve your bottom line profit 10, 20% or more. And if you want to know more about that, go to smart-payments-guide. This is in the menu under resources as well, or it will be smart payments guide. And if you aren't doing smart payments, and if you're using MaidCentral, hit us up. We'll give you more information. We'll help you with that. There's a guide here you can download. Really, this is free money. Everybody should be passing their credit card fees on to their customers in 2025. Okay. You want to talk about Pulse, Saja?
Always. So excited.
Okay. So why are we talking about Pulse? Why are we doing Pulse? Well, several things are happening. Big companies are getting bigger. There's professional money coming to the industry. We're seeing professional management practices being adopted. We're not spending nearly as much time talking about, where do I buy rags and who makes the best vacuum cleaner. We have real, at the Strategy Summit, John Zendowski was showing us how to use unit economics, as the Business Weekly accounting, which was like, just taking it to another level. Making money on a whole is one thing, but if you've got the numbers that can help you make profit to an individual customer level, that's really where it's going. And the professionally managed companies are doing that. Technology, the technology is changing, giving us the ability to do that. AI, a big part of that. And just this change in general is happening faster and faster. So that's really kind of at the heart of why we are doing Pulse, because we're heading into an AI world, and you need software that plays and can be effective in that world. A day's coming where, and it's not that far away, where traditional software, the way you're used to doing it, where you log in and you go to a form and you enter stuff in and you run a report and you go through the report and you're looking for information, really isn't going to be how you're going to be doing it. You're going to have AI agents that are using your data to make recommendations and actually taking actions on your behalf to get the outcomes that you need to get in your business. A customer cancels, skips a job last minute, AI agents will be telling you what to do about it, and even, addressing it and scheduling a new job in there for you, or adjusting the schedule at some point. That's not Pulse day one, but Pulse is being built in order to support what's coming down the road with artificial intelligence. it's going to be simpler and easier and better than our current version, but that's just for starters. The real importance of Pulse is it's going to allow us to function in an AI world, and it's going to be a real competitive advantage for you once AI becomes a real thing. Did I miss anything, Aja?
No, I think you
Okay.
added a few things that are really great too.
Okay. Well, sometimes that happens. So, Aja, what are we talking about when we say from data to done for you?
Kind of our big thing here is the, kind of evolution of using data to make data-driven decisions. So first step here is, collecting that data. So that's kind of, where MaidCentral started. Just getting that information into one place and being able to view it in one place. And then there's a couple of different steps, but the ultimate goal here is, okay, instead of, having the data, we just do it. We've got a couple of different steps to get to that point, but instead of having to sift through it, kind of the same thing that you were talking about, instead of sifting through it and finding the anomalies and then making a decision about the anomalies, there's that track is just kind of happening in the background, or maybe with, minimal human oversight, but still just really happening based off of your preferences. So this kind of goes through 4 steps. We start with collecting the data. We start generating reports. That's, where we get a lot of our information in MaidCentral, especially right now in the current version. We then identify exceptions. So we've got BI there, that's business intelligence. We've got a couple of business intelligence features in MaidCentral currently that are just letting you know, hey, this looks a little funky. You might want to take an extra look at this, kind of flagging those high and low anomalies. The next step of that is making recommendations for you. So the best example that we've been able to really come up of this in the current system is rate adjustments and rate increase. Well, really just the rate adjustments, where you kind of tell us, okay, these are the parameters we want to fit in. We want to hit this hourly rate, and we want it to be for anybody whose job is taking more or less time than we kind of expect it to. And then we pop out, okay, based on that information, here are all those homes or services that need an adjustment. And based off of what you told us, this is the adjustment that we would recommend. And then you can kind of click the button and say, yep, that looks good, or let me make a couple adjustments. And so really, that just takes us to the next step of, let's do it automatically. And the rate adjustment example, instead of you going through each month and putting in the parameters and then clicking the button to send the report, you kind of set the parameters, and then it just kind of happens automatically in the background that those increases are going out based off of what you would like them to go on. And it kind of helps reduce the chances of just making inconsistent changes, of maybe raising somebody a certain amount and somebody else who's having a very similar situation, not the same amount, and just kind of keeping those things standard and giving you better outcomes on the other side as well.
So Pulse is being designed to be optimized to support done for you.
Yep.
Done for you is going to be an iteration that's going to be happening over a period of time. Pulse is going to be available Q1 of 2026. And we're going to show you, the second part of our 4-part series here, some of the functionality you're going to see from the beginning out of Pulse. But the really, really cool stuff is going to be the agentic AI. So what, Aja? Why do we care?
Well, I mean, it's the next step of software here. Residential cleaning software as its own specific tool to help our businesses has been kind of limited. And we're getting this, next evolution by bringing in the flexibility to use AI tools and to kind of take control of your data and use it, really be able to use it with less time. So, the big piece here is being able to make data-driven decisions, or have those data-driven decision actions kind of happen for you with less time. Right now we can take all that data and we can eventually get to the same resolution or the same conclusion, but it's going to take time. You have to dig through it. You got to find what's different, what's good, what's bad, what do we need to do to make those changes, and then you can finally get there. But MaidCentral Pulse is just that next evolution.
Reports are kind of part of the secret sauce of MaidCentral, and reports aren't going to go away. We're going to have reports, same reports that you're familiar with, but some of them are going to be updated, and they're going to be easier to use as well. But as time goes on, the reports are going to be less relevant, and you're going to want answers rather than the data to find the answers, or you're just going to want it done for you. What's new?
Yeah.
And
so a lot of things. It's entirely new almost. No, we've got the same database going on here, but we've got a lot of new things here. So the biggest one here is our user interface, or at least the most obvious one once we kind of jump into this. Very updated interface, more intuitive. Our big goal that we're keeping in mind is no more than 3 clicks for day-to-day operational tasks, and also trying to keep as many things under 3 clicks as possible, even into the settings and whatnot. That is a big change from the current version, where things are kind of in different places and you really have to kind of remember where they are. We really want to make this more intuitive and more, just quicker, get to those actions quicker, save you time on clicks. The next piece of that is our customization, or customizable ability. It's going to be applicable to more business models, whether it's residential, adding in a little bit more commercial, employee versus contractor as well, being more flexible if you have, independent contractors, or, W-4 employees or W-2 employees. And then different company sizes. Large companies want to use different feature sets than smaller companies. You guys have different priorities at that time, which means that you want to use different features to make better changes in your business. So giving more flexibility to choose what features you want to use and what features you don't want to use while still getting good outcomes. I keep saying this, but another big one here is going to be the mobile experience. This is a big shift for us.
Well, it is big. It is big.
It's a huge shift. So kind of doing a mobile first design. We've got a couple developers on the team that this is kind of their bread and butter, that they're focusing on making sure that everything can be scaled down and still usable in a mobile format, even for office users. So if you're out in the field, you need to make a last minute change, making that process significantly easier from a field, operational standpoint is a huge shift for us. I'm really excited about it. So, at this point, everything that I've shown can be filtered down to a mobile view, and we're working to make as many pages, really all, not even just as many, all pages mobile friendly.
Of course, no new version of software would be complete without AI, correct?
Correct. Yeah. So we can't forget that. We are going to be launching our MaidCentral MaidSense AI. This actually will be, parts of this will be launched to the current version as well. We want people to get familiar with asking questions about your data. So this is something that eventually can help fill schedule gaps, offer alternatives, and flag risks. Right off the bat, what is actually being able to be done now with some of our beta testers is answering business questions using your data. So, give me a rundown on this week. How's it looking? How are things looking? And it can pull out all of that information. We have it framed through the residential mindset. So we're kind of we're keeping that tweaked and tuned to, be applicable and relevant to what we're doing in our businesses as residential cleaning businesses. And it's directly linked in. It's really cool. So starting with just making recommendations and insights off of your data. And then, like we said, the goal of Pulse is to be flexible and capable of handling AI operations. So giving schedule recommendations, knowing that when somebody cancels, we need to know what we could backfill that with, things like that this MaidSense AI will be able to do over the years, or over time, I guess. And who knows how long it'll be, because things are changing so fast. It's incredible, but some of those additional features are going to come in time, but we already have the data side done.
So yeah, and this MaidSense is in beta. Some partners are already testing it. You're gonna have a chance to use this before the year's out. This will be coming out independent of Pulse. Okay, we've talked enough about this. You want to take a look at it?
Yeah, let's take a peek.
Okay. What do we want to talk about today?
So today we've got, we're going to look at operations and sales. So last week we really focused on scheduling. Today we're going to look more into customer management, technician management, some zone management, and potentially get into some of the sales stuff as well. So to kick us off, this is kind of our dashboard here. If we go into our customers, we've got a little bit of some KPIs here at the top. These might change over time, but for right now, these feel good. But we've got our list here. You can get some top level data from it here, and then you can kind of go into the details of the customer. This is a much simpler view of kind of our customer profile than what we have currently. You'll notice that everything's in one place, including our homes. We've got our properties here in a separate section instead of a separate page. So again, reducing those clicks to kind of make changes and see what you want to see. But back to the overview here, we want to, keep our top line KPIs and information we want to know right away here at the front, service history, things like that. Then we can go down into their properties. This is a much simplified view compared to what we've got in our current version in terms of looking at the homes, getting, really quick access to the notes, the size of the home, the bedrooms, address, all of that. You can edit and view the details here. So this is an example with 2 properties. And so we still have that same flexibility, but just in a simplified view.
And I'm going to do this, and I hope I don't mess you up. So for what a property, if I want to see the service sets, I guess that would be at the detailed level. Wow. Aja just dropped for a second. So we'll wait for her to come back. The hierarchy of MaidCentral stays the same as we were talking earlier. We're using the same database as we currently are using, so that doesn't change. Hey, Aja.
I have too many tabs open, Tom.
You closed the wrong one?
I
Okay.
tried to click back into this one and accidentally hit the X because they're all so small. The X was right there.
I was just reiterating that it's the same, we're not changing the database. So the schema is still the same. So you've got customer can have multiple properties, homes, we're calling them properties here. A property can have multiple service sets, and a service set can have multiple jobs. So if we want to drill into a particular property, that's where we'd have the service set information.
I don't know if we've gone into those details quite yet with what the service set how that's going to be presented. It might be part of the job section. That's kind of what I've been proposing, is having it part of the jobs here, is that you'd have your service sets and then you'd have all the job history, and you can kind of filter it down based off of service set. But this is a work in progress. So while most of this is going to be pretty similar on release, there are definitely changes still coming, and service sets are a big part of what isn't quite done yet right now. It's going to be that service set piece.
But it would be obvious which service sets were associated with which properties.
Yep. Yeah, we just need a little more brainstorming how we want to keep that hierarchy really clear without having to do as many clicks as we had to do previously to stay within the hierarchy. So I think it'll probably end up on this page with the jobs.
Okay.
So, yep, we've got jobs here, completed, upcoming, total jobs, a little short history. You can see, who cleaned it, how long it took, what their bill was, if they voted on it, and if they had any comments on that scorecard.
There's 5 stars there.
There are 5 stars there and 4 stars there. We are completely changing the feedback system so that everything matches internally and externally. It's going to be a star system all around. So I feel like I can hear people whooping from here, from across the country. So that one's going to be a really big win, really exciting. I am going to click on this button. I'm not sure if it's going to work yet. It is not connected, but this would essentially open up that same modal that we saw on the scheduling side, where you could see the timesheets, the invoice, make changes, things like that. Then we can get into their billing information, kind of pretty similar stuff here. You can see their current balance, how much they're currently paying per service or per month, and if they have auto pay on. Then you can see their payment methods, go into some billing settings, and then down into their billing history. Agreements, similar idea here as to what we currently have, just a little bit more detailed, being able to view, download, amend things. Those are, especially amending it, that's going to be a very, very big change for us. Active agreements, total quotes. So for this particular customer, we had multiple properties, so multiple services happening at different properties and maybe different services. So different service agreements for those services and being able to keep those organized. Down into messages. We'll talk about this a little bit more next week as well, but this is our Pulse Connect, which is going to be our centralized messaging system within MaidCentral Pulse. And this is I'm forgetting the term right now, a single stream of communication. So we can see all emails.
It's going to be unified. All
Thank you.
the communications will be here.
The word was just escaping me. So a unified messaging platform here within it. So emails, text messages, all in one place. You can still filter by them. But then you can also respond in email or text message directly from here as well, and kind of see who sent that responses and when it was sent, all in one place. So if you make a response here and Jessica's in the other office looking at the same customer, she's going to see that response pop up within this unified messaging stream. So there's no accidental double duty or accidental nobody's doing it because we thought somebody else already did it. It's all in one place. So it's really obvious if that's been responded to or not. Can kind of see their upcoming schedule if they want to make any changes on those really quickly. And then also down into our preferences. Looks like we might want to add some padding here because that's as far as I can scroll down. But preferred days, preferred time, if they have any special requirements, all in one place. Again, just highlighting, making it really obvious if anything's not falling within their preferences. And those preferences, at least most of these, will be also flagged on the scheduling views. So you'll get that proactive corrections or information is really a big piece of MaidCentral Pulse, letting you know as you're doing something that this might not be the best decision, and then offering alternative solutions based on, what we know, what their preferences are and what's available. Getting into inspections, hoping to get this, haven't dove into this too much. So this is definitely first version of the inspections page, but really liking that we can see each individual inspection with a little more detail. Just on the surface level, kind of getting that rating versus it just being a pass or fail. I'd actually, this is just me and my brain. I'd like to get that on a 5-point scale as well, or a 5-star scale, just to keep things consistent, but we have it on a 10 right now. So, like I mentioned, this is a work in progress. Things are probably going to change, but this is, to begin with, a very different view of our inspections, a lot more details, and really being able to kind of define what issues were found and keeping those highlighted on a technician and customer basis. And then finally, we've got our settings section. So contact information, account settings, billing and payment. Some of these are repeats from some of the other sections, but we want to make it really obvious that if you're, wanting to look at billing information in one section, you can find it. If you want to find your settings, you can find it there as well. Giving options, but also keeping it relevant to what we're trying to do in that section. So we do have some other billing stuff here, but the same things that you can do here, you can do on the billing page. So it's not separated and kind of split. It's just duplicated. Notification preferences. Oh, yeah. No,
it's just everything you're showing here is just a completely different layout, a different feel. It's and even being able to set preferences. I mean, this is a lot easier to maneuver, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, really excited. I love these toggles on the notification preferences. Right now, we kind of add them one by one, but being able to just go through and click things on or off here is going to be so much easier to kind of maintain.
Okay, John has a question. He wants to know, what is the auto schedule?
Auto schedule. I'm not sure what that means.
Yeah, John, could you maybe elaborate?
Oh, this is probably just filler text right now. I'm guessing this is what it means under the frequency. That's
Oh,
probably just a filler text currently. It would put their regular frequency there. Good catch though. Did not notice that when I was looking at this the other day. So I think that's what you were probably talking about. So just filler text. It'll when it's connected to actual data, we'll have some better information there.
what we're sharing here is like the front end is not bound to the database yet.
Correct. Yep. So we're like slowly linking things together. All right.
On the schedule tab at the bottom, there's a toggle. Auto schedule enabled. There you go.
Not sure. I think it's just a filler there. So good catch though. I'll ask what our developers kind of had in mind for that, and I will follow up and see if that'll still be there next week.
Well, there has been discussion, and we've been playing with some ways that for like a new job, a recurring job, and I guess this kind of ties back into the master schedule as well, being able to recommend where to schedule. Would this be we don't know.
I don't know. I think that might just be something that was kind of overlooked. I would need to see what the kind of developer thought was behind that. It might be something we are looking into adding, but right now I don't know what that's about.
So sometimes they underpromise and overdeliver, and we get together and it's like, here, we were playing with something, check this out, what do you think? And this could be one of those.
Yeah.
We haven't seen it.
Not sure yet. Our goal with initial release is to definitely have, a few major features on release as well. But in general, we want to be able to have people transition from current version to MaidCentral Pulse using the, same information and just kind of plug in and start going. So major changes are going to take time because we still have to use the same database, but there's definitely going to be some really great new features here too.
Patricia is saying that she would love to book inspections without affecting the text on the job's time.
Yep, we have talked about it. Don't know what it's going to look like yet, but it is on our minds to see what that could look like, to be able to assign somebody to a job as an inspection without it being somebody being attributed to
being part of the team, right?
Yep. Yeah, so we have talked about it. Not going to show up anywhere in here currently. Still have to figure out how that works, but we do hope to make that happen.
Michelle's just saying that she thinks she saw the auto schedule in the settings also.
Yeah, it might be in a couple of places. I'm not sure. I had not even noticed that before, but for right now, auto schedule, no idea what that means. So we'll just...
what we can do is when we do this next week, Wednesday at 1:00 Eastern, we'll have an answer for the auto schedule.
Yep, exactly. So I'm sure I'll have a message from one of the developers before the end of this live stream with an update on that too. So we'll probably still have another further discussion before we give you guys that update, but they are watching too. So they're seeing all of your comments as well. Okay, so I think that's it on customers. So the next one that I had here, I have a cat just like meowing behind me, and she is disrupting my train of thought so badly. Okay.
Well, we can all hear it as well. So.
Oh, can you? Oh no.
Oh, yes.
Oh no. I've been asking everybody if they could hear it or not, and this is the first time that it's actually coming across on mic, so that sucks. I'm so sorry.
Your mic's doing well.
I turned down my gain on it a little bit, so hopefully it
It
stops a bit, but
it's manageable. We'll be
she's
okay.
driving me crazy. Okay. So next we've got our technician management or team management. Similar view here as the customers, some KPIs at the top. Something different here is our PTO request pending. So we can see, we've got some PTO coming in. I can go in and review those requests, add an approval or denial to them here. And then we talked about it today, having kind of past request or approved request or even declined request, having a list of those here as well. Don't have that added yet, but kind of trying to keep all of that in one place. But your PTO is part of that team management as well. You can assign technicians to teams directly from the summary view, so making changes here. And then some top line stats and KPIs off of your technicians as well. And then we can jump in and view their profile. Again, similar to our customer view, we want to keep things very streamlined and make it very clear no matter where you I can't give her the type of love she's looking for. She needs to be spayed. So
She's worried about your cat.
She
Okay.
is yeah.
So
She's
that's
just having a rough time.
we know the whole story now.
Yeah. So but yeah, here on the technician page, we do want to keep things really similar to how we look at our customers so that everything is very easy to know kind of where you're looking. So again, KPIs at the top, a couple of summary things here on their user account, contact details, and performance. I think we talked about some changes here on the performance. We added an attendance performance, but potentially adding some other things here, or even making this a selectable KPI, so that, if you have a particular KPI that you're really wanting to focus on your text, you can have that top of mind. And then we can come down here into our attendance summary, how many days they've been scheduled, PTO balance, sick balance, what their attendance score kind of looks like, and then breaking down into how, the details of that score.
Hey, Aja,
Yeah.
TC's asking about being able to add users like SEO agency without it affecting employee turnover.
That currently exists. So the only employees that are being included in the turnover reports are the ones with the scheduled tag. So adding vendors and things should not impact employee turnover reports. They will still show up on our stats by week. Sorry, I just had a total blank. The cat got quiet. My brain had good too much space for motion. Anyways, so currently the stats by week does show everybody on there, but the turnover reports themselves do not only include technicians that have the scheduled tag added to them when they are terminated.
Okay.
Cool. Can do some edit details here, add a photo, update their contact information. Then we can get into their schedule, setting their typical availability, and then being able to see their upcoming schedule. Don't have any fake data for that upcoming schedule here right now, but actually, let me just do a quick refresh and just make sure that didn't get updated. Nope. Okay. And then PTO and time off requests here as well. Then we can go into their time clock to see past time clock activity, getting their time entries for different houses if they took a break, and then also flagging anything, making those flags a lot more obvious as well. So here we can see that there's a clock out missing, and this has been flagged because they're still checked into that home. Payroll, you'll see it has the admin next to it. This will only be available to people that have the settings to view payroll information, but this is a much simplified view, and something that I think a lot of people are going to be very excited about is the role-based pay rates, and then having our scope of work being an override. Currently, we're adding our pay rates scope by scope by scope, and then you can kind of bulk update them. We're reversing that process. So we create what the default is here, and then you can kind of override it on the scope by scope basis here. much simpler way of doing it. Hopefully really reducing those clicks and reducing the amount of time it takes to set up technicians and then also update them. If you give a price rate, not a price raise, a pay raise or something like that, then it can be tedious to kind of go through and change all of those. But here you can change one section and it can kind of update everything. And then we've got our kind of specific.
Anita has a question. We're going to keep going till we get stumped here. On the core KPI, does turnover not include staff who do not have scheduled checked in the profile?
I would need to look into that specifically, but because the core KPI report is based off of stats by week, I do believe it is including those, but the individual turnover reports do not.
I tell you what, I'll add that to the questions list, Anita. Come back next Wednesday, we'll have an answer.
Yeah. So that one, I'm pretty sure that it does include for the core KPI report. Would it be possible to let the employees see only their tips showing which jobs clients tip them without exposing full payroll details? Potentially. It's not something that we've talked about right now, but it's something that we can add to the consideration list. Having kind of the payroll information that's presented to technicians be a little bit more customizable. Off the get-go, I would imagine no, but I think down the line that could be a possibility.
Very good.
All right. And then we've got the same Pulse Connect view here as we do with the customers. So being able to text, email your technicians from one view and then have that update no matter who's looking at it in that unified messaging platform. Very excited about that. And then we have the notes section. Love this. I'm very excited about this because this is a different, a kind of decent change on how we're currently doing notes. So you can kind of create different types of notes here, and then you can label them as requires attention. So something that maybe you want to follow up on, you can add that requires attention to it. And then we can also add tags to our notes as well. So, if I'm making one here for a technician, I can choose whether it's, performance, just general, anything like that. Mark it as important, as something that maybe I want to look at later, add the note, and then I can throw a tag on it or create a custom tag to make it a little bit easier to search for those notes and follow up on things that might be happening with your technicians or your customers. All right. So after technicians, we're going to look at our timesheets. This is one of my favorite things about Pulse is this updated timeline view. This is kind of a major upgrade on our employee clock monitor, which also got like a major upgrade within the last year or so, or maybe year and a half. So this is taking that just another step further. So we've got our technicians over here on the left. We can see how long they've been cleaning for, what they're scheduled for, when they started, and then we can kind of see the jobs that they're working on. So our green box on the outside is what they're scheduled for that day. The blue line is their actual clock-in times, and then we have the individual jobs, which has a couple of different colors on them as well. So I've got the purple here on the front end of this job, which is letting me know that they were 15 minutes late to this job. I can drag and drop the start time here, and that will actually change the timesheet. So now I can say, oh, they just forgot to clock in. They were actually early to this job. I can make that adjustment here on the schedule directly. So they were 15 minutes late, but then on the other end, we've got our orange OT. So they were overtime by 15 minutes as well. And I think that's really cool, just making this very visually, obvious what things are kind of happening on the day. If they were late to a job, if they went over on a job, when their breaks were, and then being able to make those changes directly here on this view if something wasn't done correctly. And then we do have some manual options for the office side here to kind of end their day, clock a break for them, start their day for them if they're not already started, to kind of, if there's any issues with their technology in the field, being able to do that from the office side is helpful too. We have a couple different views for timesheets. We've got kind of our older, more established view is just the daily time clocks here. So I can see each technician each day, and then I can click into it, see each job and what their times were on that job. And then also on a card view by technician as well, can start to view those details. I think that kind of took me to the weird place. So work in progress here, but this timeline view I'm very excited about. I think it's going to be a big update here on kind of how we're managing our technicians' time and keeping those things accurate. All right, we are getting to the top here. The last thing I wanted to look at was our sales pipeline, and this is a version of this is also coming out to our current version of MaidCentral on our next build. So get very excited, because if you like what you see here, if you're currently using MaidCentral already, this will exist in your current version next week. So
Yeah, that'll be next Thursday, right? A week from
next Thursday
tomorrow.
night. Yeah, so really Friday, but yep. So this is a very cool update to kind of our sales pipeline management. So we can view everything here by status, or I can filter it down by sales rep, because these are able to be assigned to different sales reps in this version, or in this with this update. You can also assign unassigned ones here. They're all drag and drop cards. I can move them to whoever it needs to be assigned to, or I can move them along the process if I'm looking at by status. So I can move somebody from needs contacted and drag them over to quoted. In the current version, so this is still a work in progress in Pulse, but in the current version, this will also pop up a when I go move it to quoted, it'll say, oh, it doesn't have a quote. What would you like to give it a quote? And you can start a quote directly from that just by moving the card. You can also make phone calls or get their phone number, send emails, send text messages, add a note, give the quote. And then we also have our little green highlighted, glowing button here. And this is letting us know that Justin Reedus is currently online. This is a hot lead. This is letting us know that they are on our online quoting tool right now, and we can just give them a call and save them some time. So very cool here. This is definitely still in progress on the Pulse version, but I think if you want to keep an eye out for our release for next week, this is fully completed. It's got to see it yesterday. It looks really cool, and I think it's going to add a lot more control to companies, particularly if they have more than one salesperson, to being able to track their own sales, their own leads, and follow it along the process.
Hey, so here's a good question from Martin about showing allowed time for the week to help us catch people before they get into overtime.
Yes. We haven't talked about that specifically yet. On our schedule view, we do have the allowed hours time added here. I think we're still looking into that's going to be potentially on the reporting side. Currently, you can get some of that information, especially if you're solos, using the team mileage report. So I'm working to kind of get some of that information in other places as well. We just haven't discussed what that'll look like yet. Most likely, yes. I just don't know when that would happen, if it will be with the initial release. But right now you can get some of that information using the team mileage report. There is a scheduled hours column there that can be really helpful to kind of projecting on the allowed hours, particularly if you pay by allowed hours. Cool. All right, that's everything that I had.
Okie dokie. Wow, that's a lot.
Yeah, we still have 2 more of these. Can you guys imagine? We still have more information for 2 more of these.
What are we doing next week?
We are going to look at reporting, communications, and then specifically the MaidSense AI. So getting into some of our reporting stuff, looking closer at the Pulse Connect, and really diving into what we're hoping to have out on release for the MaidSense AI, or especially with the V2 as well.
Sure.
The current version.
And then the following week on the 29th?
Yeah, so 29th, we have a couple of different names for this one. I've got all things automations there, but we've been calling it internally our endless possibilities live stream. So the automations that we have coming are going to be a game changer for having something internal to MaidCentral. We're very excited about that. But then we'll also probably get into some of the changes that we might be making or updates that we'll be making to potentially the invoicing and payroll process. So fingers crossed I can show some of those for you as well, but we'll definitely be looking into automations, and that one is awesome.
The automations is like a whole new piece of software by itself.
It really is. It pretty much eliminates the need for some of the external platforms people are using for campaigns and automated campaigns and whatnot. So we're really excited to be able to pull more of that internally and also give the flexibility to shoot any other information that they want out externally. They can still do that as well. But for most of the people that want to try and keep things all together, we've got a way to do that with these automations. Really, really excited about it.
Real quick, John has a question about assigning a lead. Does the follow-ups, do they go to the assigned person?
Yes, and that will be on next week's release as well. In the templates, instead of it having, a specific name, there's going to be a new merge field that has assigned first name and assigned last name or whatever. So you can add that directly to the template. So all emails, text messages that are going out automatically will have the salesperson that they were speaking to on that message.
Michelle wants to know, would the sales pipeline still work based off the campaign?
Yes, and something that it isn't showing on this one, but is on the other one, maybe it's kind of here, is showing if they have an open ticket. So if you've got something in your campaign that creates reminders and adds tickets to kind of create reminders around different leads, it'll flag up here saying open ticket, and you can open it up the same way that you would otherwise, but it's directly linked to that lead. Okay. So yes, that will.
These are awesome questions, and they're coming in. We've got time for this one in two more real quick, and then we're going to have to call it a wrap because we have another live stream here at the top of the hour.
Yeah, Tom's a busy guy. Would it be possible to set up separated automatic campaigns for each scope of work? I believe yes, with what I kind of understand of our new automations, but I don't want to overpromise right now. So I believe so. I believe that we're going to be able to add a lot more filterability based off of scope of work or scope group that they're getting quoted, things like that. But we'll talk about more of that during automations.
Okay. And different quote templates based on base.
I will know more of that during automations as well. I believe so, but not positive.
Come back in 2 weeks.
Yeah, come back in 2 weeks. Sorry, I got you excited about the big piece already. We'll talk about that in 2 weeks. I'll have more details for sure and be able to kind of answer more of those questions. I do believe most of that will be possible, but I don't want to set any wrong expectations.
Follow-up tickets. Yeah, they're going to be assigned to the person who owns the lead, correct?
Yeah. So they're going to be attached to the lead, which is assigned to the sales rep. So if they go by sales rep, it's going to show all of their current leads and if they have an open ticket attached to that lead. So if there's a follow-up already open for it saying you need to give them a call.
I want to know about how we're going to be handling voice. That's still yet to be determined.
Yep, yet to be determined there. We've got goals on being as third-party agnostic as we can be, but not sure what that'll look like.
There's some practical aspects though of finding one vendor that you can integrate deeply with. So we're looking at options there.
Yeah,
to be determined. Okay. I guess the last thing we really need to talk about here is PCI report comes out tomorrow, 3:30. Join us for that. Go to guess that would be over here. Go to this page on our website, and that's what we need to do. And you need to register for that, right? That's a webinar.
Yes, it's a one-time registration. So if you register for it once, we'll send you reminders for all of them, so you don't have to keep remembering to register each month. But if you're interested in keeping on top of the industry-wide benchmarks, definitely pop in every month.
And again, smart payments. If you're not using smart payments, and if you really don't care to improve your bottom line profit by 10 to 20% or more, don't bother with this. But if you have an interest in doing that, go look at our smart payments page off the website and let us talk to you about that. Very cool. Okay, Aja, you think this will do it for today?
I think so.
I think so too.
We did good.
Thank you. Thank you. And thank you everybody for participating and asking a lot of cool questions, making it fun. Same time next week. What is this, 1 o'clock Eastern time on Wednesday? Join us again. Until then,
See you
everybody
next
take
week,
care.
y'all.
Oh, we'll see you tomorrow, 3:30 Eastern for PCI.
See you tomorrow.
Bye-bye.